What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Intensive Treatment, where we talk about all things Arkham. Marvel and I are back with another banger of a topic. So, Arkham games. We talk about it for a living. That's what we do for our job. But today, we're going to talk about how great each one is and the best thing about them. Now, this may be hard for some. Arkham Knight. But, excuse me. But it will be great for others, i.e., the first two. So I'm excited. There's a lot of great things about both these games, and there is some great things about the other two that we can get to. But I'm most excited to just ride Asylum a little bit more today.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about the best thing from each Arkham game.
Now, I wanted to ask you, because this was one of your ideas. When you say the best thing, do you mean just something like generalized, or how did you want to approach this?
Well, I wanna look at it from two angles. I want to look at it from like a generalized side, atmosphere, combat, blah blah blah, whatever.
Okay.
But I also want to look at it from the side of, what did it do in your life that impacted you? What was the best thing to come from that game?
Okay.
And I
Okay.
think Asylum. I think we have a lot to say about Asylum. But if you had to choose one thing from both those categories, sort of impacting you and also the game itself, what would you say for Asylum?
Okay, so I think first, as far as generalized, when it comes to generalized things, I think atmosphere, Arkham Asylum takes it hands down. It just sets the best overall tone, and I feel that the later games don't match that in any way. They try to, especially with Arkham Knight, but I don't think they quite hit that the same. Like, they don't quite hit it the same way that Asylum did.
Yeah,
So,
not at all.
no. As far as the other one though, I would say, for me, I would say probably exploration.
How so?
Like, uh, being able to, like, when you get your new gadgets, being able to explore certain areas that you couldn't previously, or like, just the world around you just becomes more like open as you keep playing, like as you collect more gadgets, like the um even something as simple as like the explosive gel, the amount of walls you can break just alone, like it really just opens the place up, and it keeps getting more and more as it goes along. Most of that though is for like Riddler achievements and whatnot, but like,
Yeah.
it's mostly tied to that. But I feel like the other games just like the other games don't really evolve its world like Asylum does.
Yeah, no, they don't at all.
So, but yeah, I think that in both sense, like atmosphere is great, is amazing, and then just that exploration. Because the game, when you really look at it, it's basically a Metroidvania game.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it does a really good job of incorporating those elements in there. And the other games just kind of the only other game that I can think of that has that is Blackgate, and even that game doesn't do it well.
Yeah.
But the other games, they don't really adhere to the Metroidvania style that the first game did.
Yeah.
What would you say for Asylum?
I think I'm with you on the atmosphere side of things. I don't know of any other game that I love the atmosphere as much as this game, and I don't think there is one. And you mentioned Arkham Knight. The games did get close. They tried to get close anyway, but I don't even think Knight was that close. Um, it just felt unattainable. I think there was just it had to do with the circumstances of how the game was made and what they were trying to accomplish and when it was made that all
Mhm.
attributed to that stuff.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so it, yeah, that the atmosphere is unmatched. I feel like I'm in a comic book, like we've said millions of times.
Right.
Um, um, Another thing I think is really crucial to this game is this might not be as big a deal to some people, but for me it is the color palette. Um,
Oh, okay. Like the overall aesthetic.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I agree with you there.
I think this game wouldn't thrive as much if it didn't have that. Everywhere from the botanical gardens to the penitentiary to the mansion to intensive treatment, everything's perfect. I'm not going to say the Homelander quote. You thought I was. Everything was perfect. And if it wasn't that way, it wouldn't feel like a complete package, I think. Um, Oddly, because I think the other games were pretty consistent, but there was moments where you didn't feel like it was as crucial as in Asylum. I think Asylum, everything had to be the way it was.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, what was the best thing that happened to you through Asylum specifically? Like in your own life, what was something that this game brought to your life that maybe was the best thing it brought? Don't say intensive treatment. We all know that's true.
Damn it, you caught me. You caught me. Caught
It
on the
gave
right
you
thing.
it gave you the pipe slaying abilities.
Yeah, it made me pick up women. No, that's a joke.
Hey, you ever
Um,
played Arkham Asylum, babe? You want to come to my crib?
yeah, you want to come to my crib and explore the intensive treatment? She's like, "What's an intensive treatment? Like, get out of my house. Just leave."
You guys scaring me.
um, so I think the best thing about Asylum is that, like, the way that it kind of came, like the way that it impacted into my life was after Asylum came out, that's when I really started noticing the quality of video games in general.
Mm,
Like I can really discern like what's a good game, what's a bad game, what's an okay game, what's not. Because as a kid I couldn't care less about like the quality of video games. I just played video games
right.
regardless if they were good or
Yeah.
bad. For hours on end, even the bad ones I'd play through like just all the way through and multiple times, and it's just like I didn't care. But after Asylum came out, I'm just like I really started picking up on certain things and noticing like, hey, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
And the general consensus is, oh yeah, that was not right. Okay, good. So like, this game's great, this game's not, so it really opened my eyes to the possibility of like actual quality in the games industry. And
Yeah.
so I commend Arkham Asylum for that. So
Yeah.
what
It did the
about
same for
you?
me.
For you?
Um, well, it did the same for me, but I wasn't gonna say that as my.
Okay.
So I would say that the best thing that came from this game was impacting my um taste in comic books. Um,
Yeah.
because before Asylum, I kind of just like saw Batman and was like, "Yup, that's it, Batman
Yep.
or Spider
Batman.
Man. That's it. I'm gonna get it." But then I played this and I'm like, "Well, there's actually a reason for all of this. There's a reason for certain comics to be super dark, and there's a reason why certain ones aren't." And um, all the different art styles, I started to understand it. I'm like, "This is okay. This is just somebody's interpretation,
Hmm.
and everybody has something to offer. Well, sometimes they do. If you're Zack Snyder, you don't. But everyone has something to offer in the world of comic books when it comes to art and storytelling. And this game made me realize that this was, for the most part, what I wanted in my comic books when I
Hmm.
read Batman. Um, I've since grown out of that. now, even though not completely, but at the time, that was what I wanted. I was like, I love the dark, gritty, just really gothic atmosphere of Batman and Arkham Asylum, and that's what I want to read. So that was what I did.
Okay.
I became an edgelord. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that
Emo
was what I
Peter.
wanted.
Literal
Emo Peter,
real
emo
life emo.
Swifty, Swimo, Swifty emo. But yeah, so
You'll
I
get your
think,
podcast when you fix this damn door.
but yeah, so I think that's it for Asylum. I think we've covered all the grounds. So how about City Marvel?
City. Oh geez.
City's a different can of worms. I don't think it's as easy to pick. Not that it's not great. It's just Asylums are like so in your face for me.
mhm.
Like this is great. This is great. This is great. So, yeah.
Why don't you start off with this
Okay.
one?
So, I think the best thing to come from City is, speaking generically in the game, is the story. Um, Story's great. As I've gotten older and as I've been friends with Marvel, I've kind of started to notice the things that he doesn't like about the story, and I'm also sitting there with him, like the Ra's al Ghul reveal and Hugo Strange's little involvement in the actual game. Um, you know, I also, the Joker just takes over everything once again. He didn't fix that damn door, but
No.
I think the overall story and arc of Batman's character is great. So yeah, um, I think something that the best thing to come from Arkham City though, as a whole, was its impact on the superhero genre.
Mhm.
Um, Asylum did it, but City took what Asylum did and did it even more. Um, I don't know exactly why. It just felt like each time an Arkham game came out, it was just pushing the envelope a little bit more for what
Right.
was expected.
Mhm.
So now, now what's expected? Well, top-notch combat, top-notch storytelling, top-notch acting, a great cast, uh, graphics, open world. Everything was just that was what was expected at that point. Um, so I think those are the best things to come from City. It really shaped how, even to
To
this
this day.
day, how comic books and comic book games and stuff is perceived by the public and what our expectations are. So that's me. That's me, folks.
Mhm. Okay. That's good. I can
Good.
understand that. Um, so for me,
Uh-oh. For,
so as far as generalized, like best thing about it, and I know I'm gonna get some shit for this, but I think as far as the general sense, I think the improvements to gameplay is
mm,
what makes Arkham City stand out. Even more so, like we talked about how much we love Arkham Knight's gameplay. I'm sort of following in like for me, I think for Arkham Knight, the combat really got better. The stealth did not,
mm-hmm.
just because of how gadgets were used, and also
It's very gadget centric.
the layouts of the Predator maps or the Predator rooms. It's all
So
just
horrible.
floor grades. But with
Yeah.
City, they really tweaked everything in the right direction.
Yeah.
Combat felt a lot more focused, and wasn't as like all over the place. Like
It
combat
didn't
was
feel
great.
stiff anymore.
No, it didn't feel stiff, right? Like everything just felt it felt right. Like
Yeah.
combat felt great and much better than what came before. Stealth was a huge improvement over what we had in Arkham Asylum. The amount of takedowns you can do and the way to utilize your gadgets was just
Mm,
incredible. So I think yeah,
yeah.
the overall tweaks to gameplay was what make Arkham City stand out above the rest.
Mm,
As far as just like personal things, this is gonna sound a little weird, but the pacing is what I think is another great thing that Arkham City has. Like, it has the perfect pace for everything as far as the
Mm.
story and how the game moves along. Everything's in a nice pace. It doesn't feel like it's dragging its feet
No,
like
it doesn't.
Origins or Night, and that there's not really any bad sections
No, there's not.
to say like to go through. So also the way that side missions are incorporated as the story goes along, like it all just to me it all just works really well.
Yeah.
So sounds a bit weird, but you know.
No, no, not at all. I'm with you.
So I know
No,
some people are going to
completely.
be like pacing. What the fuck do you mean by pacing? It's just like, well, that's yeah. I just told you. Like
Yeah.
that's how I feel. It's just yeah.
His personal opinion is that the pacing is goated.
So I know you mentioned for like impact on your life, like with Arkham Asylum, you were talking
Mm,
about how like you're for Batman stories, like getting into
mhm.
like certain Batman stories. For me, I was gonna almost chime in and be like, that was basically Arkham City, but I wanted to
For
like
you.
yeah. But for me though, Arkham City just kind of opened the floodgates to the world of Batman. Like it made me want to get like made me want to get comic books. Like it made me want to read these stories that are so acclaimed and so
Yeah.
memorable and so popular.
Do you
So
remember like one of the first stories you bought because of Arkham City and what it was and what you thought of it after you read it?
probably probably like year one was
Mm,
was one of them. Year one, and I'm looking over at my comics. Like a lot of these, like I didn't like. I read a lot in high school,
yeah.
and so like year one, Dark Knight, Long Halloween was another one I read in high school,
Yeah.
and but yeah, I'd get to experience some like later on, like Black Mirror and Arkham Asylum, Serious House, and Serious Earth, stuff like that. So you know, like
Yeah.
just completely opening the floodgates of
Mhm.
not only Batman but also the DC universe too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So like I wanted to go out to my local comic shop and actually pick up books new on the shelf and trades and all that.
Yeah.
So it gave me my love for like actual embedded love for comic books. So
What an idiot. He did it after City and not Asylum. What a
well,
loser. I'm
say,
just kidding.
no, I know. It's just it's funny because Asylum like made me aware of all these obscure characters that I never would have seen before anywhere else because WB doesn't give a shit about that kind of thing. Uh, but um, but City just like you know getting to meet this character named Deadshot that I've never heard of before, or like
Yeah.
Hush or Azrael. It's just like I want to learn more about these characters. It's like
Well,
oh,
how well versed were you in Batman characters at that point?
not
Not like that.
not much. Like it mostly my experience with Batman was just limited to whatever cartoon I was watching and like the movies. So
Yeah.
so it wasn't a whole lot.
Mhm. I think Arkham was also my introduction to Deadshot as well.
Hmm.
City. So I will give it that as well for City. I think City introduced me to a lot of villains that aren't necessarily not well known, but to a kid that only watched cartoons and as
Hmm.
well the movies, I don't know who Deadshot is.
Right.
And I didn't have any comics that had Deadshot in them.
Right.
So
Hmm.
same thing for like Hush or something like that.
Right. Yeah. I was like, who the hell's Hush? It's like, well,
Yeah, I didn't know until Arkham
you gotta
City.
you gotta pick up your local. You gotta buy it at your local store. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, I just read the first volume of that Hush story in high school anyway. So I was just
Yeah.
like, oh, cool. That's who Hush
This
is.
is this is the mofo that I was tracking down in Arkham City, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Um.
City had a lot to offer for everyone.
Right. Absolutely.
But do you want to move on to Origins? Do you think that's a good spot to go?
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go first for this one?
Um. I guess, yes. Okay, yeah.
if there is a best thing in Origins.
Well, I'm trying to think of a general sense that Origins had above the rest, and hmm. No, this is gonna be hard because I don't like anything. I don't really
I
like
know,
anything
right?
in Origins.
Watch us just skip it. Like, yeah, there's nothing redeemable.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know about general sense, but for personal wise, um, performances, which I
Mm.
guess also could be a general idea. Like performances,
I
I think are just great across the board. Roger Craig
yeah,
Smith is a well endowed Batman in my books. He's one
and
of my favorites.
he wouldn't have been someone I would have ever thought could be Batman.
Yeah, it's like Ezio as Batman, Sonic.
Sonic?
Yeah, it's like, huh? Wait, he's playing Batman? I don't know about that, but no, let's just give him a shot. And man, he fucking delivered.
Yeah, and I remember at the time when I first played that game, because I was only 10 when Arkham Origins came out. Uh,
Mm,
so when I heard Roger Craig Smith for the first time, I was like, "Oh, they got rid of Kevin Conroy? Like, how could
mm,
you do that? How could you get rid of the greatest Batman there is?" And
mhm.
obviously time went by, and I'm just like, "Oh, okay, it's because it's a prequel. He's not coming back for Night." Because I remember at the time the Night trailer had come out, and I'm like, is this going to be Roger Craig Smith?" Um, Obviously still a 10-year-old at that point. So I didn't know. But yeah, and I was pleasantly surprised with his performance and am glad that he's back for another run because it's been a while. And he did like a slew of the animated movies.
Yeah, he did like the Batman Unlimited stuff, and even like he was in the Red Sun Superman animated movie as
Yeah,
Batman Cough, and but I think the Arkham
this is his
series
best.
yeah, the
This
Arkham
is his
series
best
is where
performance.
he really as the character of Batman really gets to shine. So
Yeah,
hopefully he keeps up that energy for Arkham Shadow.
I agree. I think he was probably excited to come back. He can have an intensity with Batman in Arkham that he couldn't have in Unlimited and stuff. Um,
Mm,
it's just a different kind of caliber that he has to do. So yeah, I agree. Performances are great. I don't know that I would go as a generalized thing because I don't think they're the best performances in the Arkham games, but they are great.
mm, yeah. Yeah,
How
that
about
that's why I was like it's hard thinking of something general for Arkham Origins because it's just like it's just worse Arkham City when you really look at it.
yeah?
So,
Okay, I will say one thing about Arkham Origins. It's not quite generalized because I don't think it's like that. I think Arkham Knight takes the cake on this one, but I think um no, you know what? No, this is right. The time of year is perfect. Batman and Christmas is like the best combo you could ever ask for.
I guess you could say general like that could very
Yeah,
well
it's
be a
that's a
general.
generalized one.
Yeah.
I still prefer Batman in the Rain, which is
Yeah.
why I said Night might still be better than this. So I might not be able to put it as a generalization, the best thing to come out of it. But it's pretty damn close because Batman in the snow in a snowstorm is awesome. And it
Yeah.
being Christmas and having the whole Christmas aesthetic around Gotham is really cool. It's a
I
shame that Gotham is so boring in Arkham Origins that I don't know that I feel the sense so much that I'm like enjoying flying around looking at all the
yeah.
Christmas stuff.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna change my for general. I would say Batman and Christmas is like synonymous, and also it's like I mean Batman in the Rain. That's like it's the general Batman look, like when
Yeah,
you're looking at Gotham. But there's just something about Batman and like the snow. Like there's a nice contrast between the two of them.
I agree.
So, and I might even like it more than Batman in the Rain. But
All right, I'll see you later.
so
No, it's great. It really is great. And that is one thing that Origins did really well.
yeah.
Um For anything else though, Origins didn't do anything for me.
No.
It literally didn't do anything for me personally. Well, okay, I'll say the one thing. It made me love Roger Craig Smith as Batman. That's
Right.
what it did personally.
But
But
yeah,
there isn't much to go
gameplay,
on.
story, like it
Everything's
just
worse or the same
yeah,
as City.
it just
So
doesn't work. So
yeah.
okay. Should we
Now
even
on to the
bring up
big boy.
like impacts from Origins? Because there's basically none.
Yeah,
Like,
I was gonna say I don't think there's anything from that either. It didn't
okay.
really do anything. It was kind of forgotten by the time Night came out.
Okay.
So
All right.
moving on to the Big Daddy.
You want to do? What do you want to start this one?
Sure, Arkham Knight. Nothing. This game's horrible. Video over. See you guys later. No. Um, okay, I think the thing that this game has over the other ones is God, this is hard.
There is one thing I would say:
What would you say? Because I can't think of anything.
visual fidelity.
Oh well,
This game is
that's so true.
beautiful, even though it's a piece of shit, but it looks great. Like this really like this
It
game
does.
looks better than most games coming out now.
I know that's insane.
Yeah.
To this day.
To
Sorry.
this day. Even Suicide Squad,
Oh
it's
yeah,
when I
Night looks better.
I was really thinking about it not too long ago and I'm like, I mean, yeah, Suicide Squad looks like it looks like a PS5 game, but Arkham Knight looks like a PS7 game.
I know.
Skipping ahead 2 generations. Like it looks fantastic. It still does to this day.
Yeah.
To this day. But anyway, um
I think I'm gonna have the same answer as you because I don't think anything else really from Night gets best in my books.
yeah.
But visual fidelity, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
I was playing it on Xbox One last week. Looks fantastic, and then I played it on PS5. Looks incredible,
Mhm.
and it just never didn't look good.
Yeah,
It
right.
was like from the get go, the game looked great, and I think a part of that is the art style. Um, the way that they crafted the look of the game has a lot to do with it because
Mm,
there's other games that have bigger budgets than Arkham Knight that have, better software that they can use now. Like they have Unreal Engine 5 now, and games are looking shittier than Arkham
mhm,
Knight.
mhm.
And it was just the amount of work that was put in. Like that's all I can say.
Just the amount of detail alone that Knight has is like just above and beyond compared to games of nowadays.
I know.
So,
It's incredible.
mhm.
I mean, if they have nothing to be proud of in that game except that. So, thank you, Rocksteady, for giving us a good looking game at least.
Yeah.
Great looking game.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of something else.
Yeah, I was trying to think
Night's
of
so
something like
hard.
I was trying to think of something like personal
Right.
wise and
Well, it definitely was a great time to be a Batman fan. It made me it made me interact with a lot of great people online. Um,
I guess
so that's something.
personal wise I could say is like extra DLC content and that sounds
Yeah.
weird, but
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
like the amount of Batman skins like they had so much attention so much love for
Yeah.
and they
I wish there was more
really
still.
yeah. And there were some missed opportunities for sure, no animated series. That was a huge
Oh my
letdown.
gosh,
But,
what a tragedy.
even now, they still have so much they made a Robert Pattinson Batman skin just for us
Yeah.
because they care so much about their fans, and, well, somewhat. Not Suicide Squad and all, but, yeah, they really had a fondness for their following, and, yeah, it was this was what, a year after Batman's 75th anniversary or so? So
Yes.
so they were trying to they were really trying to give like the coup de grace to like extra Batman Arkham bits, I guess.
Yeah.
So, what did this game impact for me? Fucking nothing, though.
Yeah, literally nothing. What a
It is.
terrible, a horrible game. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I wish there was something I could say,
Yeah.
but I can't. I
The only thing
cannot.
that the only thing that impacted me was how sleazy WB could be. So,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Shit was tragic.
Mhm. Is there anywhere else to go with this?
There's only one place to go. Out.
Yeah. End the episode.
So, I think that's going to be it for today's episode.
Oh wait, there was one
What?
thing I wanted to ask you, and I want to see if you agree on this or not.
Okay. Okay.
So in the community, there's been when it comes to like generalized thing, each Arkham games does best. You know, for Asylum, it was like best atmosphere, city best story, or it was like you've probably seen this image floating around where it's like each Arkham game has something like Arkham Knight's best gameplay and whatnot.
Right.
And I wanted to see if you actually agreed with those points because for me, I don't.
Okay, give me the points again in the order you want me to answer them because I will give you honestly, like it'll be rapid fire. Like you just say one and I'll just give you an answer.
I think for Asylum, it was best atmosphere,
I mean, I
which I
agree
think,
with that.
yeah, I think we both. I think City was best story.
I disagree.
Disagree? Yeah, me too.
Even though that was my main focal point here for City, but I still don't think it's the best story.
Actually, I should probably find that image somewhere.
What was Origin's best boss fights?
Best boss fights, yeah.
Completely disagree. Couldn't disagree more.
And then Night, it was like best gameplay.
I also disagree.
Yeah. So
People are just so backwards. I don't know. I don't understand how people are so actually like. I'm gonna say it in the most polite way possible and the most unintelligent way possible. They're just stupid.
yeah.
And if you're one of our subscribers that's stupid, please be unstupid and subscribe to Intensive Treatment, baby.
Oh yeah, here
But
I
yeah,
found it. Oh yeah,
okay.
Asylum best atmosphere, City best story, Origins best boss fights, and the Night best gameplay.
Yeah, disagree
See,
with almost every single one
yeah,
except Asylum.
that's yeah the only thing Asylum has going for it, like or one of the many things.
Oh my god. You just hate Asylum now. Well,
No, I
the
meant
only thing.
I was gonna
I
say I
know.
meant compared to these, like compared
Yeah.
to these other points, but like, but yeah, I don't agree with these at all. I thought for the longest time I was like, well, kinda, but now I'm just like, no, no.
Yeah, I
When you
don't
really
agree.
dig into it, it's just like, nah.
I think City takes all of those except Atmosphere. Personally. But that's a debate for another video.
Yeah, I don't know about story, but like gameplay,
No,
yes.
not story. I'm sorry, not story, but I mean gameplay and boss fights.
Yeah, it
I
does
think
have it does
City
have
is the best.
Mr. Freeze, like just
Yeah, literally just him you could have, and that's it.
yeah. But
But
yeah, Origins that game has
gameplay also
nothing.
goes to City.
It has nothing.
No,
Origins has nothing, and Night just no.
Knight legitimately has nothing. At least Origins tried. Knight just sank.
I don't know how people could say like, "Oh yeah, Arkham Knight is the best gameplay." Did you forget about the Batmobile? Did you
I
forget about the
think
tank battles?
I know. And
So
like these people don't preface like, well, what do you mean by gameplay? It's like that clip of Jordan Peterson. Well, when you say like what do you mean? That begs the question.
yeah,
What do you mean?
what do you mean? So yeah, all the Arkham fans are wrong. We're right, of course,
Yeah, we're intensive treatment.
and fuck them. So I think we can close this episode out now.
I think we can too. Do you want to do the outro?
All right. So yeah, let us know in the comments down below what you think. Which Arkham game has the best overall what? Like just either generalized, whatever. Tell us in the comments. We'll agree or, agree to disagree is usually our motto. So
Hmm.
yeah, let us know. And be sure to check out our other episodes and also our live streams and also ITTVs if there's any news that comes up. We're probably going to do a huge deep dive on the Arkham Shadow gameplay when it comes out. So
Yeah, for sure.
stay tuned for all that. And we'll see you guys for the next episode. So have a great night. Thank you all so much for watching. And of course, don't forget to take care of yourselves and stay locked up.